Hello, my name is Marcus Sherwood. I'm the principal at the Prince of Wales International School in Tanjung, Bungah, north of Penang Island. I've been working internationally since 2007. I spent 10 years prior to that working in the UK, just out of London. And prior to that, I began my teaching career in New Zealand. So I grew up living in New Zealand. International schools have changed markedly over sort of 50 to 100 years that they've been established. The oldest ones in the region are coming up to 80 years old. And obviously there's been a whole sort of impetus of new international schools which are serving a different purpose than the original purpose. So students and families from all over Asia are looking for maybe different systems to their national systems, which have become extremely stressful in many cases, and filter to a bottleneck, meaning it's extremely competitive as well for the students in there. So many families are looking at a more holistic view of education. They want their children to be academically successful, but without maybe some of the stress levels that are in their home country. The second thing, of course, is that English is one of the languages, I would say, along with perhaps Mandarin in the future, that will equip students who speak those languages to work anywhere in the world. So it sort of guarantees an economic future for children, and I think families are beginning to look at that long-term journey. The pathways, mindset, and anything that you're going to get out of an international school is really a family. It's a family belief in the fact that opening their child's mind to different perspectives, different languages, different viewpoints is going to prepare them more, I suppose, more deeply than it would be coming through their own national system where there will be a uniformity of thought. And that is in whichever country we're talking about, whether we're in Europe, North America, in Asia. This is the same for all national systems. There's going to be a conformity of thought. And while maintaining excellent standards so that children have choices in their future pathways, I think by coming international you are looking at a really broad educational experience. You're looking at opportunities that perhaps you might not get in your home country, and having to work with different perspectives every day can only prepare us better for a world that we're not certain how it's going to look. When we're talking about languages, obviously coming to an international school that is delivering its curriculum in English does provide challenges for children whose English is not at the level to be able to get the best out of that initially. English is one language in the world. There are many languages, each language has its value. I am a little bit worried about the position sometimes of English and the attitude that many of our families coming here, the worry that they have around English. I'm looking for good students, firstly. That is the most important thing. What we can't do is necessarily solve problems that are happening maybe in someone's home system with focus or learning difficulties is not going to suddenly be magically transformed when they come to international school. But when normal language, home language development has been strong, then actually it's just time, being patient with the development of English. So we have different support systems. We have an EAL program which will support the children. In class we do have assistants and teachers who are very familiar with English Additional Language Learners, EAL. So there is I suppose an empathy for those language learners coming in and for their family. And again, I think if perspective and family understanding of what they're coming to an international school is robust, the language is actually only one small part of that. One of the most commonly asked questions that I get is how long does it take for my child to be able to function in this new language, in this case English. That is difficult because if you are 4 years old or 3 years old and you're coming out into new language, the progress to how the plasticity of the brain at that age is such that language development is very quickly developed. So you might be looking as short as 18 months to 2 years that a child will be reading, writing, and speaking and listening within the class range. If you're bringing a 12-year-old student over who has little experience of English, you're not just dealing with the mechanics of learning the language, you're also dealing with self-esteem, how they feel about their learning, how they see themselves as a learner, when in their home language perhaps they were having high achievement and now they're really struggling within English, and that becomes a wider issue to their language development, and that can block language development. We would say that it's only when you begin thinking in a language that you are going to be really confident interacting and speaking in that. That generally takes children around about 4 years in our primary school. Yeah, so one of the things that you're looking to do, I think, when you come into international school as far as language development and content and knowledge development, is to try and run parallel with home language. So sometimes you will use the translation for homework or things that are going on in school and actually be doing your research and your learning within your home language, because that will allow you to access at a higher level. So your learning will not stop in that way, but maybe in the response, their English response is more limited in what they can actually do within that sense. So again, age is a big difference. Would you bring your child, going into an exam system when they're 15 or 16 with limited English? You wouldn't. I would never recommend that, because they are not going to be able to access that exam at the same level as they would if they could access that in home language. So therefore we are limiting their choices, because they are not going to get to the same level as they would be operating in their home language. But for younger children, no. Initially there might be some lower levels within English, maybe some of the vocabulary they're learning in mathematics, but actually at home they can be building those skills as well by accessing that information in home language. There's always a lot of focus on the language development, and for sure that does impact on a child's confidence and how they feel in school. The fluency of language and the speed of speaking obviously can be a challenge, because a child may have had some specific short sentence, short reading excerpts, and then suddenly you're in the environment where English is being spoken all the time. That can be extremely tiring. I mentioned earlier about when you're thinking in a language and you can respond, of course it's not tiring, but when you are hearing a language, trying to translate and make sense of it and then give an output, that's extremely tiring for children. So that can be one of the big challenges. The other big challenge that people underestimate is the culture shock, is the change to being in a new environment. School will be different. The people in their class will be different. The things they're interested in some cases will be different. And really importantly for families, their daily life will be different, and there will be things when you come to a new country that frustrate, that upset, and it's very much like this over that first 6 months, where there'll be good days, everyone's happy, and there'll be days when it's really, really tough. So I think not underestimating the difference that it is when you move from what you know to something that is different.